Hi, everybody. How are you doing this week? Oh, hello, Rossi. Hi, Carl. Hello, Hypnicity. Let's see. Big changes. Stepson moved in over the weekend with, wallopy, wallopy, wallopy. Wow, 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 wow. Sure. Absolutely. Major adjustments. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I don't normally pay huge attention, but I do still kind of bridge the gap between. I started off with Western astrology before I had learned regular Lemurian astrology, and so it's a matter of blending the two, standing one foot in each world. And I'm gonna see if I can find it again. There was a lady that I was listening to this morning that was going over the Western astrology for Neptune moving into Mars, basically Aries, the sign of Aries. So it's moving from dreamy Pisces for the last 14 years, and over the weekend we could really feel the energy shift and change. And so it's activating things. There's a lot of changes that are going on. People getting fired up now. That's the upside of it, because suddenly you can be leaning into your dreams, um, and figuring out what's, Aries. The sign of Aries in traditional Western astrology speaks to the self, and so you can be actually leaning into and discovering things that are more for your personal dreams. Sometimes with Pisces, we go into this dreamy illusion, delusion, fantasy type world, and it will leave us a little too much in the connectedness. And so sometimes what we're coming up against is we're looking at things with rose-colored glasses, and we're not actually seeing what's there. So the Neptune, as it steps into Aries, it kind of cleans the lens for us just a little bit there, and definitely helps to see things. But first of all, hello everybody. If you're here, my name is Debbie DeMint, and I do energy clearing and energy balancing, and this is going to be the primary focus for this week. It's going to be the energy balancing, and so it's going to be universal. I also do the Lemurian astrology, and I do speak some of the Lemurian light language. Hi, Paul. Lovely to see you. At the H's today, servicing lunch. Beautiful. Uh-oh. Didn't know I was coming in. That's funny. But yes, it is actually April Fool's. So for anybody that's not aware, April Fool's, of course, is the day to play harmless pranks on people. So if something is triggering you today, then absolutely step back, go sit under a tree. And we're going to be doing some energy healing today as it is. And so when I go to do the energy healing, be warned, sometimes you can go ahead and get sleepy. What I'm going to be aiming for today will be helping to balance everybody. And as I said, this is going to be mostly for cleaning and clearing the meridians. And what meridians are rivers of energy that flow in and around your body in a specific direction. And what can happen over time, I don't know if you've ever seen a stream where you've had boulders or trees fall down across it, and it'll get full of debris. And so whenever I'm referring to congestion, that's what I mean. It's like it gets pinched off, and suddenly your chi flow doesn't go to that area in your body. And so that can lead to actual physical things showing up as well. I am not a doctor. I am not here to diagnose, treat, cure, anything like that. All I'm doing is working with your energy body. And what's going to happen is I'm going to be moving around various areas across the body. And if you are sensitive to energy, you may feel me. If you're not sensitive, don't worry, because your meridians themselves will actually be aligning with what I'm putting out there. And so it'll naturally do it completely on autopilot. Okay. Let's see. I can't live on the laptop and everything over the school. Wow, just had a pencil and a notebook. I know, right? And sometimes going back to the pencil and the notebook are perfect because, like I was saying previously, we have just moved into Neptune into Aries. And so you can feel really fired up to do things. You're going to be motivated. I'm going to dream the dreams and this and that. But the downside to that is we can be really overstimulated. We can be overthinking. Our adrenal glands are kind of in burnout mode. And the way that our society is kind of set up, to begin with, we automatically are overstimulated. It's like we're oversaturated with the internet and social media. And sometimes, just like Paul's saying, disconnect from the computer, grab yourself a pencil and a notebook, and just sit under a tree or in a quiet spot with your kitty cats and just journal, just doing pencil in a notebook. Because as much as we love our computers and everything, it's another burden to just like the phone, it's another burden to the already overstimulated electrical system in our body, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing today. To start off with, I'm going to do some light language again. And I'm going to be doing the harmonization, just like I just did on the Oracle card read. And what this is going to do is this is going to get us together energetically speaking. Okay, everybody. Nice deep breath in. And then just let it out. There we go. Tie ori ora mahakawatai. Ite ingawa te to iri te otawana. Wayu tapu. Ite ingawa te whenui karani te kita. Wayu tapu. Ite ingawa te whaia tamatua te tama. Wayu tapu. Tie ori ora. There we go. Agreed. They don't go with us in the afterlife. Funny you should say that, actually, Paul, because whenever I was doing some of the dipping into and looking at Nikola Tesla, not the current Tesla, but the original Tesla, sometimes some of our energy systems are flavored, I guess you could say, as we go over into our afterlife. We ourselves, our soul essence and our divine essence that comes from the central sun, that won't be impacted. What we're doing down here is we are trying on different suits and trying out different situations. And that goes over to the Akashic records, but it will flavor on the Akashic record. Yeah. Very grateful for that too. And this is one thing too, if you've got younger people in your lives, you can encourage them to do things without the electronics. The electronics themselves are very addictive. They were designed that way. Not going to get into it, but yes, they were very much designed that way. And so the younger people can be terrified if they set down their phone because they've been conditioned that they have to have their phone. So even just something as simple as put down your phone, we're going to go plant a plant. In the Northern Hemisphere right now is a perfect time to be repotting your house plants or taking your kids in hand or your younger nieces or whatever, and teaching them about, anybody remember the styrofoam cups that we used to have to do in school with a little bit of potting soil and a green bean? It didn't really matter if the green bean grew or not. It was a matter of just getting your hands in the dirt and having that grounding time and that connection. Yeah. Okay. So you guys tell me, do you need to have the bubble technique first, or do you want me to just jump right over into doing some meridian clearing for everybody? We did the bubble technique last week. So you can always find that if you go back last week. We have a timestamp under there, and we do have a bubble technique in that situation. Or if you guys don't want to be knocked out quite as deeply today, we can just jump over into doing some of the meridian clearing. So Carl had mentioned something right quick. Let me see what we got here. So tired, need energy. Also wish to hear from my last two dogs, Cinnamon and Oreo. Okay, well, we'll see what might come in later on. But I just wanted to see if anybody's kitty cats or if there's any major lumps and bumps. We did have some major alignments and adjustments. You know what I'm feeling called to do is actually just a little bit more Lemurian here. So what I want to do instead of a bubble technique is something that I call Tukupinga Maui. And what that is the net of Maui. And Maui is the children from the stars, the children from heaven. And what I want to do is I want to use that in combination with our chakra system. Now, in Lemuria, that is called Kaha system. And what I'm thinking is that will help in the case of like hypnicity and some of the tiredness that we have. And then some of this is also, we're kind of rabbiting everywhere too. I can feel that as well. We're a little pretty grounded, but that's great. And what's going to happen is, as I combine the two, what's going to happen is it will pull the energy up and out with the net of Maui, which is what Tukupinga Maui is the net of Maui. And it will bring us in alignment with the grid of the hunas and the star essence, Tukupinga Maui. And so what that's going to do is that will remove from your chakra system gunk that doesn't belong there, any remnants that don't belong there, especially as I was talking about the Western astrology. There is a locking mechanism in place, and I'm kind of moving the energy already as I'm speaking to you and telling you about what we're going to be doing. And so what this is going to do is this will take away things that do not align with you and your higher purpose and your higher reason for being here. That will also help to ground us right quick. Humans usually ground a little slower than our animal and family members do. Feathered friends usually are a little more grounded, a little faster. So that's much better. So we're going to go all the way through our chakra system, and we're going to do this to bring this into an alignment. Okay, we're going to start. Tukupinga Maui, Ma'ita, Tukupinga Maui, A'irua, Tukupinga Maui, Te Ariki, Tukupinga Maui, Tinaro, Tukupinga Maui, Tinira, Tukupinga Maui, Maki, Tukupinga Maui, Teko, Tukupinga Maui, Tawahi, Tukupinga Maui, Matako, Tukupinga Maui, Toi, Tukupinga Maui, Muki Muki, Tukupinga Maui, Taro, Tukupinga Maui, Ma'ita, Ma'ita, Tukupinga Maui, Taro, Tukupinga Maui, Toi, Tukupinga Maui, Muki Muki, Tukupinga Maui, Tawahi, Tukupinga Maui, Teko, Tukupinga Maui, Matako, Tukupinga Maui, Maki, Tukupinga Maui, Tinira, Tukupinga Maui, Tinaro, Tukupinga Maui, Te Ariki, Tukupinga Maui, A'irua, Tukupinga Maui, Ma'ita, Tukupinga Maui. Okay, that's great. So you should feel a calming energy with that, a clearing energy with that. And the other cool benefit with Tukupinga Maui, the net of Maui, is that it can bring in gifts that will be in alignment with your highest good. So you may start seeing things. You may start hearing things. You may be feeling called to go to some place that you've never, maybe you do your grocery store shopping at 10 a.m. Suddenly you feel called to do it at 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And so that could be a prompting. You may be coming into or across the pathway of a person that may be setting you on your next newest adventure. Yeah, you can feel that, can't you? That's pretty powerful. It's pretty potent. Yeah, I wanted to do that today because I think we needed just a wee bit more balancing with that. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and start working with your energy field, but I'm going to try chatting as we do this. So I'm going to start at the base of the neck, or the base of the skull, I should say, where that joins the back of the neck. It's also called the atlas. And so I'm going to be working on both sides and just going down the neck. I have a tendency to lose my speech center whenever I'm doing this. But I've been practicing over the year. So, and Carl, if you have any of your kitty cats or your puppies, or Hypnicity, if your puppies are nearby, they're going to be joining in with this automatically. They can feel this. In fact, we're going to set this out just a little bit further. There we go. Top of the shoulders now. That's good. Sometimes we shoulder the weight of the world. And this is one thing that'll be cool too, as we start to power into this new energy for Tuatara. It speaks to the smile. It speaks to laughter. And so for this month, I really want you to look at things, anything that will help to help you laugh, because that will automatically bring your energy up. So if you're finding that you're in the muck, in the mucky, and you cannot get out of that situation, do something, sing a little song, or just reimagine a silly video that you've seen, or a joke. You can share a joke with people just to help lighten the mood. Disney's, what was it, Whistle While You Work, was one of them, from the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But also Mary Poppins, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. And the boy was asking in Mary Poppins, whenever they had to tidy up the nursery, it's like, it is a game, isn't it? And she said, well, that depends on your point of view. So, you can alter your perspective, lighten up, find the joy, find the fun in anything that you're having to do. Right now I'm working in between the top of the rib cage and the shoulder blade. It's the underside of the shoulder blades itself. So in some people, this can make you cough as the energy is releasing. And I am terribly sorry if you're struggling with like a cold or something. Yeah, still got a cold. Carl, we're going to see with this is Zoe, if we can just get her energy system flowing a bit and get the lymph cleared out for her. There we go, and down through the rib cage and the spine itself. We're going on the thoracic, so that sits in between the shoulder blades, pretty much everywhere that the rib cage is, from the tops of the shoulders down through the spinal process in between the shoulder blades. Still sleeping there, great. Now we're on the arms itself, points of shoulders. Humans, that'll be the ball of the shoulder. It's ouch. Ouch. That's still pretty tender. Somebody over here, that was really tender on the right hand side. Sometimes whenever we're working with body posture, you can do all kinds of simple things. One of the easiest things you can do for point of shoulder, you can do a couple of things. One, you can point your toes in and your heels out, and see if that takes pressure off of your hand and your shoulder. The other thing that you can do, and don't harm yourself, just gently go through any of these body positions. The other thing you can do, sometimes the outside edge of your foot can be lower. So you can stand on a ledge, or you can just simply look at your foot and rotate it so that the outer edge is up higher than your inner ankle, and see if that helps alleviate some of the pressure. You can also do this laying down in the bed. Sometimes that's really supportive, because what will happen is as you play around with your feet or your body alignment, that will allow your body and gravity to open up a space. Right now I'm on the right hand shoulder. I'm still working the energy system around the ball and the point of shoulder. And so that will help to allow some spacing there, and it can give you some opportunity to relax some muscling that has been locked into place for a long time. Okay, we're going to go down the right arm, going down the bicep, and then the back of the arm, which is the triceps, and the outer arm, Yeah, sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes where your neck on the right hand side joins the shoulder, sometimes you can get that pop. And that's because we've got those muscles loosened off. Elbow, right elbow. And then we're going to go for the forearm, wrist, and hand. Oh, we're going to go for the ting points on the paws and the hands. Okay, we're going to go for the palm of the hand, which is a little unusual, but in humans, there are a whole bunch of points that show up in the palms of our hands and the bottoms of our feet. Sometimes you can stimulate that, and that will work very quickly as well. I can hear our animal friends sitting there, da 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 da. We're waiting on the humans. Okay, let's go back up the right arm. So funny. Going into the right armpit, all across the clavicles, which are the collarbones. Horses say we don't have those. No, you do not. But you do have all of those points. So let's get in there and get those worked. Sometimes with horses, they really have a lot of tightness strapped in there because they're striving. They're reaching forward in their strides, especially if they're digging in, if they're doing barrel racing or racing, doing their work, chasing cattle or what have you. A lot of times they'll have that really tightness right on the chest where it joins the throat, and you are so welcome. You can see a lot of times whenever we're doing this energy work, you can have releases. Yawning is usually the most frequent that I will see whenever it comes to energy work. Okay, we're going to migrate down to the back itself again. We're going to go into the lower back, above the hip, above the pelvic region. So in between your rib cage and your hips. Some of the other signs of energy releases are sneezes, coughs. Sometimes you can cry. And sometimes you can have, it feels really weird, but sometimes you can point out like a leg or an arm. You can feel the energy moving out. If you've done any of those signs, then be sure to get yourself a drink of water. Hi, Randy. We're doing some energy healing right now. I'm doing some energy balancing, so feel free to jump right on in here. I think I put everybody to sleep. Right now I'm working on the hip area. Just completed the lower back and spine. So we're working on the pelvis and the hips. We store a lot of tension in this area as humans, but even our animal friends can have a lot of tension stored here. You're jumping. Doesn't surprise me. There we go. We're going to go on the interior of the spine again. I'm going to track right up between the lung space and the spine itself. Now we're going to go into the lung tissue. I know we've got a cough cold situation. Sometimes we're also coming into hay fever. You're flying right now. I'll bet you are. So that could be a little challenging. But yeah, we're going to just clean and clear some of the smog and the gunk from the lungs itself. And then we're going to go into the heart and just gently nurture and nourish our beautiful heart. Help it to feel protected, and at the same time that it can go ahead and open and do its job. Feel beautifully protected by the pericardium, which is the sac that gently surrounds it. And then we're going to fill up, there's this tiny little space that often occurs behind the back of the heart that goes in between the heart space and the pericardium and the lungs. We're going to fill that up with just diamond white light. Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Now we're going to change that light to an emerald green for robust health. Beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at the diaphragm right quick. quick. I know everybody's like, so what? It's the muscle that separates your heart and chest space from your tummy, from your abdomen. There we go. We're going to go right into the abdomen itself. There's this amazing meridian that's called the triple heater. And that runs in and around the arms. It corresponds around your organs. Its job is pretty complicated, but let's just say that we have crystals in our tummy that do their purpose. We're just going to see those light up. They already know their job. We're going to bring some extra energy just to our triple heater meridian. And I know it says heat, but it's not actually heat. It flows the different systems, the different energy flow in and around the body. But it's primarily focused on the abdomen and the chest space. So let's get that balanced. In Western science, it's called the mesentery, and what that is the things that are supportive in and around our organs in our tummy space. It gives feedback, it gives information to different parts of our body. Beautiful. That's much better. Yeah, I can feel some old gunk that's in the abdomen. It's just been so stagnated for so long. So we're just going to gently move this. You may hear some tummy gurgles or feel some tummy rumbles. And my horses, usually I'm already looking for this. I usually have them pass wind about this time. Which is not polite for people, but yeah, if you're getting tummy rumbles, it's just me coming through. Ah, that's wonderful. Rossi's saying, can actually feel when you're doing the energy work, usually a minute or two later. It's beautiful. And again, just to reassure, if you don't feel anything, you are not doing anything wrong, okay? Just want to reassure you, it's happening whether you can feel it or not. Sometimes we can look for subtle things. Sometimes in our society, we're so hurry and fast, and we overlook even the subtle things like, hey, I can move my leg better, or hey, I can breathe a little bit better, or hey, my nose feels better. Don't worry, I'll be coming back to the nose, but we're just going to complete this a little here with the tummies. I'm going to go back up to the left shoulder. I'm going to work on the ball of the shoulder on the left-hand side. We're going to pamper the left side. And remember, this is universal. So while I'm working on you, I'm also working on any of your puppies or your kittens, birds. And yes, we can have our feathered and wild friends, because I can actually hear my blue jay sitting over the top of me right now, falling asleep. So I usually have wildlife that follows me around. And they'll pick up on the energy balancing just as much. The cool thing with the energy balancing too is whenever we get it released, that means that you're not working against yourself. That means that energy flow is open. You know, you've let go of the garden hose and it can flow freely now. I'm on the left wrist, on the outside of the hand, and we're going to go down the fingertips. Sting points for the puppies and the kitties, the horses, and the birds. And again, we're going to pause here and just do some extra on the palm of the left hand. So you may feel that. Wow, somebody just moved some. Here it goes again. Oh, okay. This is for the people that have colds or challenges. We're going to be opening up the passageways of the sinuses and the eustachian tubes is what's going on with that. See, now let's get that. What we're going to do is open that up and start that flushing activity. So you may start having like a nasal drain here, but it won't last forever. Don't worry. The nice thing about getting your sinuses flowing correctly, yeah, there we go. That's better. It helps to flush all that junk out. Sometimes you can end up with a sinus headache because it's all gunked up, stuffed up. So we're just going to get that flowing down. It feels a lot better. Because what's going to happen is that's going to drain down from the sinus cavity, down the back of your throat, hence the coughing, but it'll also drain down your eustachian tube. And your body was designed for this. This is amazing because we've evolved. That's how your body cleans and clears all the junk that you keep encountering throughout your day. Hi, Karen. How you doing, honey? We're focusing on energy work today. So if you've got your puppies or your kitty around, they'll be hooked into this. Mm-hmm. 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 Carl, what you can do too is I can certainly focus energy on that as well. At the most, what you need to do is, this is just for entertainment purposes only, but get yourself some flaxseed and then fresh grind it and then sprinkle that over your food 2 or 3 times a day. It does not take very much. So you're only going to look at maybe 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon. And it tastes kind of like almonds whenever you've got it fresh ground. But that will help with that situation. The other thing that you can do is anytime that you have a worry there, you can, yes, you've got it. That's correct. What you can do is if you're worried, imagine sending a colored light of energy to whatever spot you're worried with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this works in tandem with what your doctors are doing, not, we don't, we love our medical community. This works in support for the energy field. Hang on just a second, gang. I'm going to ground Paul's energy right quick. Paul, let's get you finished. I need to zip up your energy field since you've been dipped into this right quick. Yes, Randy, you absolutely can. Okay, Paul. I got your energy balanced. I'm just kind of closing it for you. You have a great week. You're welcome. Yeah, I just didn't want to leave you with an energy system that was open like that. Okay, for the rest of us, let's get back to, we're on the left hand. Hey, you got things to do, I understand. You're welcome. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. So let's do the interior of the left arm, into the left armpit, and back up underneath the collarbones. Beautiful. Beautiful. You guys are doing great here. A little on the throat, which is probably courtesy of Randy here. But being good is so boring, right? Hi, Liz and Awe. Oh, here we go. Let me see. Wawa Nui, honey. Wawa. Much love. Much love. Right now, we're busy working on the throat area. I'm just doing energy balancing today. We're not finished, not by a long shot. So, squeaky, squeaky there. Okay, I need to focus instead of trying to read. Let me focus on, I'm focused on the throat area. Now, I have to say, too, this is one area that has been really stomped on a lot. Most of our times growing up, we've been taught, children to be seen, not heard. Because usually we scream at the top of our lungs. But it can also mean in our society, especially as we're bringing forward our gifts and our spirituality, a lot of us realize that we have been here many, 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 many times. And I'm sure many, many, many other times we got duffed for being a witch or burnt at the stake or what are you doing? What do you mean you can do this and that? And so we have learned not to speak. So you're going to find a lot of times with the throat, that will also affect your kaha system, your throat. The throat is Tanita. We're weaving our energy with Tanita. There we go. Wow, that was one heck of a deep pop there, somebody. Well, that's not to mean that you have to tell people what you're doing. You can be choosy. You can be picky who gets to hear what. Whenever a baby is growing, it's kept sacred. It's kept quiet for a while. There we go. Okay. Now that that is taken care of, I'm going to pop up here. I'm still doing energy work around. I'm around the tummy area. We're going to do a little bit more on the abdomen again. Oh, actually, we're going to go back up into the chest here for a second. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to drop down to the hips. We're going to try to keep going while I focus on what we've got here. Okay, so Liz and Awe made it quite off today. Got my intuitive gifts left. My mediumship classes seem off, connecting now in a bigger way. Just not sure what direction I'm going. Liz, at the beginning of this live chat, I'm going to try to find it so that I can put it up. I'm probably going to post it in my community post. But in Western astrology, the planet Neptune shifted over the weekend from Pisces, which is where it's naturally ruled, and it went into Aries. And so when it shifted like that, Pisces, of course, is the sign of the zodiac that is very intuitive, speaks a lot of our hidden clairs. And so we were doing a lot of deep diving with the spirituality. Sorry, gang, I'm around the groin area. So we were doing a lot of deep diving with the spirituality, and we're bringing that forward, kind of like what Liz is saying here. Now I'm reconnecting in a bigger way. You're finding a way to incorporate the spiritual knowings and the spiritual teachings that you've been getting, and now you're beginning to incorporate it in the sign of Aries, tends to speak of self. And so you're beginning to have exactly, you're not sure what direction you're going. It's because we've literally just moved into this new energy of Aries with the sign of Neptune. So you're going to be figuring out what direction you're going to be aiming towards and being, no, not cautious, but being patient. You're not too sure what this direction is going to be. It will reveal itself as the energy unfolds. But be reassured, your gifts never disappear. They are still very much there. We were gifted a heightened window into our abilities, but it's a part of you. It's a natural, your gifts are a natural part of you. So if you've learned a technique or something that did not integrate very well, this is going to be, in fact, a polishing of the lens as we step forward. If it did not integrate or was not truthful, you're going to find that that's going to fall away as we step forward too. But it will be replaced by a more refined version. Let's say, well, like for an example, last week, I was mentioning to people that whenever you do energy healing or you offer energy healing to somebody else, some of the Neptune and Pisces could have been where you were accidentally using your own energy. And so you would feel drained and exhausted. And, oh my, I've got to actually keep working on this. I'm on the outside legs right now, both legs. So if you feel me down and around the legs and the thighs right now, that's where I'm at. We're just pulling down some of the energy and getting it grounded. Yep, there goes that flow. That's nice. Okay, down and around the knees. And so what's going to happen as we come into with Neptune and Aries, you're going to be looking at that. Great. How can I integrate what I've got? And hey, I don't want to feel exhausted, because Aries does speak of being mindful of your body. Sometimes with Aries, what you will find is they will throw themselves out of their body because they are too busy. They're too much down the road. And then they go, ouch, that kind of hurts. Why does my leg hurt? Oh yeah, I've got a body. I have to remember. So you'll be honing and polishing this. There will be a lot more energy to it. And you'll be finding as we step into the new energy more and more, you're going to be getting better techniques. So like last week, I was telling people the technique of being sure that you hook into the energy from above and below, and then having that energy meet in your chest space, in your heart space, form a bubble with both lights that are power washing through you from the central sun and from Mother Earth. And then you push that bubble out all the way around you and just fill it full of that light. Let it be whatever color it wants to be. The colors can change for whatever you need that week or that day, even that hour or that minute. And then you expand it. You form a shaft of light all the way from Mother Earth through you to the central sun. And then whenever you go to offer your readings, your healings, your mediumship, you're using that energy, not your personal energy. And so that's an example of using the Neptunian energy and actually preserving your own healthy system. So you will be refining our clairs as we're going forward with this. So right now, kind of in a lap area. So we are just moving the energy around the groin, the pelvis, through the tummy area. We're getting some, and Carl, this may be some of the stuff that was going on with you, as you could just be having it trapped. So we're just going to get that energy flowing for you and everybody else. Oh, take the comment back off for you. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go to the knee. And a healing. Oh, that's beautiful. Wonderful, Rossi. Rossi's saying a few months ago, had a healing from my guides that helped me to ride the crazy weeks. Or crazy waves, crazy weeks too. Somehow very neutral with the energy. That's beautiful. That is gorgeous. Okay, gang. We're at the knees right now. And we're going to work down through the calves. So on our furry and feathered family members, this is in between the hawk and the stifle. Yeah, beautiful. Now we're going to go down into the feet themselves, ankles and feet. Surfing. How perfect. Fitsy. Hi, Utica. Your knees. Well, hook on in, honey. We just completed the knees, but I'm still working on absolutely everything. So I'm sure I will be coming right back up through the knees. Oh, you fell down on your knees. Oh. Okay, gang. Hang tight right quick. Utica, are you sitting, I hope? Are you sitting down, honey? Let me see if I can just reach out to Utica specifically here. Just move that energy right on off for you. Okay, great. Utica, I'm going to work on you right now. Just right quick. Oh, yeah, because it's not just your knees, honey. Let's see here. Just going to do some little bit of techniques here for you, Utica. If you have arthritic knees, or in the case of Utica, you just damaged your knees accidentally, it's acute. We'll be working around the knees themselves, down the feet. Oh, your poor feet, honey. Goodness, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I really am. Yeah, just a little on the spine, your neck. This is the other thing. Whenever we have a fall, sometimes we can end up with whiplash and jarring throughout the spine and the body because we go through some really crazy body contortions when we are trying to save ourselves from a fall. So a lot of times after the adrenaline wears off in a day or two, you're like, why does my hand hurt? I fell either on my butt or my knee or my side, and it's like it's because you were trying to save yourself. There we go. There we go. Oh God. Well, Rossi, this hook into the energy. Just allow it to go ahead and work around, in and around. And actually, Rossi, if you're up for it, it feels like I could go ahead and it will feel a little weird, but I could try to undo what happened with your knee. But it might feel a little weird. You may feel like a twinge or something if you're up for that. Yeah, your neck and your shoulders. Yeah, I felt that. Oh, baby. I'm so sorry. Hopefully the plant got tossed whenever you didn't land on it. Okay. Okay. For anybody that has a knee thing right now, I'm going to be doing a specific technique just for Rossi. And this may feel like it is undoing your knee. So it may feel like it's being twinged a little bit. Get the plant home. Well, that puppy better love you. Whoa. Okay, Rossi. That felt like the energy just popped literally up into your hip. I'm going to hold your knee stable. And in just a few, I'm going to actually imitate the same thing that I'm doing on the other leg. I just want to make sure you're in alignment with this. So we're just going to pull that energy back and down with the leg. Mm-hmm. You might feel me at your ankle and another hand on top of your shin. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. Randy, some of that could be from the old Piscean type energy too. Okay, I'm going to go to the other knee. Because sometimes what happens too is whenever we have an injury, especially an older one, the other knee will end up, or the other side will end up doing what's called compensation. And so we're kind of, it's like we're using scaffolding and we're propping ourselves up to protect, what hurts for sure. And a lot of times we don't even know that we're doing it. Okay, we're going to go at this little different angle. I'm behind the knee. I'm on probably what is your left side, my right side. Yeah, we're going to get just a little bit of traction with this one. Wow. That was the heck of a tummy gurgle. But we do have spleen and some stomach points around the knee itself, so that's great. Just gonna wait here for a second. And again, I'm just working with universal energy here. Sometimes this is just it. You just have to sit there and wait for just a little bit for it to let go. I always feel like we should be knitting or, one of those silly little songs that fills up the time. La, 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 la. Oh, that was a good pop. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was actually trapped up in the hip and the back. It was a good pop. Okay. That's good. Let me get that energy grounded down. Mm-hmm. Ah, good, good. Someone's horse just stomped in the ground with that one. So I'd say we were helping some stifles at the same time. Good. It was a girl, a mare. She's saying filly. I think you're a mare. I think you're a little too old to be a filly, honey. Beautiful. Oh, you're welcome, Rossi. Rossi, I'm not done quite yet. I've got one hand underneath your foot and the other one on the inner shin calf or We're just guiding some of the energy out from Mother Earth back up through. Ouchie. It's fine. You're very welcome. Knocking people out again. Okay, I've got one hand up on the groin area. We're just guiding that energy back up towards your torso where it needs to be. You're so welcome, honey. And again, just keep looking into the energy flow. My primary thing on here is to go ahead and get everybody's meridians balanced. Because as we come into, like I said, in Western astrology, it's Neptune coming into Aries. And it can be very strong, and it can be a lot of headaches, migraines. And of course, we've already got an overstimulated parasympathetic nervous system as it is. So you can end up being overstimulated. So if you're feeling really fried out, anything that you can do for grounding, you can play with your plants, you can repot a plant, you can take a walk, you can soak your feet in some Epsom salts. All of that will help you to counterbalance. And of course, you can also turn off your electronics and just detox that way. As Paul was saying earlier, Paul Freed, he was saying even just sitting with a notebook and a pencil can be very grounding. You can draw, you can use crayons, but that will help you to detach a little bit from the overstimulation with the electrical system. Yeah, you've been repotting your plants. Okay, gang. We're going to come back up through. I keep feeling like we need to do a bit more on the tummy and the interior spine. So this is a spot that usually isn't monkeyed with too much. The spine itself needs some TLC from the interior out. Whoa. And there goes the whole spine, actually. It just lit up. That was impressive. Wow. That's kind of beautiful. I can see everybody's skulls and spines. They look crystalline today. Wow, that's pretty. And they're making a sound. That's really pretty. I don't usually get visions like that. That's really neat. So you guys are really launching into it today. That's beautiful. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. And that's part of bringing in the Lemurian energy too, is that's just it. We're shifting. We are coming from a carbon-based system and we're coming back. Oh, baby, your spine's in spasms. So let me do some more exercises around it. That's a strange word. Energy moving, not exercise. But we are moving to a crystalline base. So, wow, that's just gorgeous. It's translucent. It looks like, it looks like clear quartz crystal is what it looks like. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Suddenly have your pain shifted because it's gone over into a crystalline. And the nice thing too is sometimes whenever we speak of crystalline, we think, oh, that's going to be rigid because you see, you see our crystals like this, and it's like that they don't move. Actually, it also speaks to plasma energy, which was some of the stuff that I was doing with the triple heater meridian today. And it's very fluid. It's plasma base, but that also is another phase of the crystalline. Yeah, Randy, I'm doing just a little bit more on the spine itself. And again, if you can get yourself, I don't know if laying flat on your back would be helpful or not, but I find bed, just laying on a bed, very supportive because what that does is eventually your back stops with the spasming and it allows it to have the space. That's interesting. Your feet, Randy. I don't know why your feet are suddenly coming in, but let me work on your feet at the same time. Ooh, in the back of your head. Randy, I think you've been busy. Up the shins. Randy, I'm hearing the word Telos. Are you headed to Mount Shasta anytime soon? Hmm. Great. That's good. Yeah. Okay. In your arch. Sure. Right now, I'm balancing the energy between the back of your head and your feet. Yeah, that was gorgeous. I really wish I could do that as a photo or an image or something for you. Um, if you don't have something planned for Telos, what you might do is look around. I'm specifically hearing Telosians or Telos. You might look to see if there is a meditation to just project yourself into Mount Shasta. Seems like there's a message or something that they want to deliver to you. They're not going to do it through me. It's a one-on-one thing. That's why I was suggesting maybe find yourself a meditation. And what you can do is, if you don't have anything, you can go ahead and just imagine yourself uh, inside Shasta. Yeah, just take a look at one of the photos from Shasta, and then just close your eyes, and then just ask them, "Hey, what's up? What do you uh, what did you want to tell me?" And then just see if anything pops in. Oh, perfect. JJ might have one then. JJ with activations with JJ. So I think that's two test speaks. I'm inside the skull right now. 369, I think, is the frequency. No, 396 is the solfeggio frequency for support for Tuataras, the month of Tuatara. Okay, that's not completely gone. I'm working on both ears at the same time. There's some congestion in there. Another. Okay, another JJ. I'm sorry. Rossi's saying, Randy, Rossi's saying it was a different, so it wasn't Two Tough Speaks. It is, let me put that up there for you. You're welcome. Yeah, and the color, Tuatara for Lemurian astrology, Tuatara speaks of Tawahi, which is our Kaha chakra, which is the solar plexus. Right now, I'm working on the underside of the brain stem itself. I'm just simply going around doing the wherever the energy needs are right now. We're pretty much balanced, but I'm going to go ahead and work this area. It feels like the pineal gland, the pituitary. No, we're not in the eyes yet. It's the upper arcadia of the sinus cavity and the underside of the spine and the underside of the brain. It's not bad in here. It just feels dusty. Somebody's coughing. I can feel that. They're in like a dust. Might even be a fire scenario, but I don't think so. It feels more like a dust storm. Like just not enough rain this spring or winter. Okay, let's go down through the nose. Oh, you're very welcome. And we're gonna do. There are tear ducts that run literally where I'm doing it. So right from the point of the eye down into the top of the sinus. Well, it's going to be the top of your nose is what it is. So you may dribble from your nose. But since you're struggling with some sort of a dust scenario, let me just get into the eyes and the eye tear ducts itself. Just get this stimulated. One of the cool things you can do if you're in a high dust scenario is you can take a deep breath in, keep your mouth closed, and then just do short exhalations through your nose. So it'll sound like deep breath in. One of my birds is imitating me. But what that'll do is that will help the cilia that is up inside your nose sit up and begin to work. One of my little birds is echoing me out there. Tear ducts, that worked. So you'll end up with a little bit of a nose dribble if the tear ducts are opened, which is great because, we have ting points in and around the eyes themselves. And huh. Sure. Okay. Working on somebody's teeth and gums. Upper gum. Oh, you're welcome. You are welcome. Tongue and the back of the throat. Don't worry, energy's still going for the teeth. Beautiful choppers. You're welcome, Liz. So wonderful that you guys are showing up for me. I love this. This is fun. I really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. Okay, Randy and anybody else, I'm going to work up a little bit more on the feetsies. You guys are starting to feel pretty good energy-wise, though. Huh! Someone's heel on the right-hand side. That might be from Utica from the fall. It's interesting, Carl, because I was right up in there. So that was possibly you that I was just working on as well. If by any chance you have fallen asleep during these activations or the meridian clearing that I am doing right now, do not worry. That actually is a good sign. And it means that your energy body is incorporating, and what it does is it takes your conscious mind and it takes it offline so that it can integrate the energies much faster. Because sometimes what happens with our brains is we overthink things, we overanalyze things. And this just simply allows us to hop on the light speed there. Beautiful. You are so welcome, Carl. Don't overdo it though, okay? Just keep babying that tooth for a bit. Feels more like it was in the sinuses behind it, but it feels like the tooth itself needs some TLC. Oh, interesting. We've got energy going right now to the teeth and to the feet, mostly to the arch. Ouch, it's somebody's knee. Ouch. Get that off. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, the sinus thing. Yeah. Yeah, there was somebody else too that was having a lot of trouble with the sinuses. Well done, Rossi. For you and Zoe. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, remember, anybody, if you've had any of the symptoms like yawning or stretching or tears going or what have you, get yourself a drink of water. Because believe it or not, what's happened is if you've done any of those signs, you've had a physical reaction in your body. And what will happen is that's a release of toxins from your tissues, from your body. And it has dumped those into the bloodstream, which is a perfect time to go ahead and get yourself a drink of water, nothing else, just water, because that will help to flush that out of your body. Yeah, you don't have to overhydrate too. Anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces. So a half a cup of coffee. That is one of the signs, actually. And Carl, I always look for that with my horses. If they haven't passed wind about halfway through, then I think I'm doing something wrong. Awesome. Okay, let's get your energy grounded, and then we're going to bring some energy back up, so that you are correctly flowing from above and below, coming up. Okay, so your energy systems are now balanced. We've definitely done some extra energy today. Strong as, right? Strong as a horse. And just to reiterate for the Lemurians, yes, Wawa Nui to begin with. Wa is the first principle of first love. Wawa is much love. Wawa Nui means much love to everyone. So in Lemuria, we say Wawa Nui. And for the month of April 1st through the 28th, this is the sign of Tuatara, and that is the sign of the smiling gecko. And the essence of this month is the smile. So anything that makes you laugh, smile, helps bring you up. I was wondering, ethnicity. I kind of figured it knocked you out. You are so welcome. So welcome. Don't, as I was saying, don't beat yourself up if you have fallen asleep. The energy is doing exactly, and you did exactly what was needed to actually speed that up. You can always listen to the replays. But yeah, with Tuatara, that's the sign of the smiling gecko. Essence is the smile. And let me see. Oh, the Stargate, where the energy is going to be coming through from the central sun. The undistorted light comes through Mars in the evening, and that is Mata. You're so welcome. I'd imagine. I would imagine everything is pretty chaotic. So hypnicity, especially for you, I would say come back and use the replay, especially if, as everybody is coming in, you can use that to help integrate the animals. Also, for the animal integration, I'm pretty sure you could play the very first animal one on my channel. There's 3 videos that I loaded. You can use Stop the Stress for the holidays as well, but I think it was the first animal one that I loaded on there. You can play that softly on the background, and that will help them, the animals especially, to balance. Oh, your dog, Cinnamon and Oreo. Hang on just a second for me, Carl. Let me see what we can get. And are we expecting a solar flash this month? I'm not. Personally, Utica, as far as I have not heard anything, but if you're wanting something that is more Huna specific, Hunatama Ake just did on Huna Flash TV. It was the geometries for this month. She and Huna Kahasahi just did the sacred geometries for this month. So I haven't finished watching through that, so I'm not too sure with the geometries what extra energy flavors are coming through. Mostly what I've been trying to do is just share the baby basics of the Lemurian astrology, because most of the people don't even know that it exists. So I'm just trying to introduce people to their basic first month astrology in Lemuria. And what Hinatama Ake does is she goes through, and the geometries that are coming in, those are more specific for catching different planets that are coming and going through that, and the energy that's moving from here to the continuum and back from the continuum. Okay? So short answer on that is I don't know. I wasn't expecting any kind of a solar flash. The big solar flash that already happened ages ago was back in March. That was 2021. Oh, baby. Huh. Oh, baby. Carl, what are you just asking for a message from Cinnamon and Oreo? Is that what you're needing? Oh, baby. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Utica, to continue with that, I haven't heard of any of the solar flashes, but you know, that's one thing too. You have to honor the fact that there are multiple timelines that are running in and around at all times. So some of your sources are going to be having 3 different flashes, and they can be correct for each of those people. Okay? I know it's a little wishy-washy, but it gets confusing, and it's to do with the fact that we are in a quantum universe. And so instead of it becoming more straightforward, it's become way more complex. It's a lot more multi-dimensionalities. Sure. You know, the nice thing Cinnamon and Oreo are getting is because they've already passed. And as soon as I'm going to preface this by saying, don't try to cheat the system by trying to go over to the other side too quickly, because that stacks negatively against you. We really, really need to stay down here, because moment to moment, you know, things are changing very rapidly. And we are coming to, they'll say, another end of an era or whatever. There are going to be a lot of people, places, pets that are going to be shifting and going to the other side. That said, when you step over to the other side, the pain goes away and you are in love, because you are in the undistorted light at that point. So even though they were suffering over here, they're not going to be doing that over there. In fact, the first images that I got of Cinnamon was running around with tail wagging. So, and one of those, huh? What? Oh, they don't remember. They won't remember. Or Oreo. It's harder on you, is the message that are coming through. Oreo is saying it was harder on you than it was for us. So sorry we had to go. Be back. Cinnamon. Cinnamon's a hoot. Yeah, and they were saying that they're sorry that you had to see that and that you had to experience that. They're good, is what Cinnamon's saying. And again, the sorrow, mostly from Oreo. Cinnamon sees no reason to be here. Why am I even being talked to? Come here, you. Hang on. Oreo's more chatty. Do you mind if I just release Cinnamon? Yeah, Cinnamon's like, yeah, I got things to do. And that's one too. Whenever they go to the other side, sometimes we want to have messages from them, but they're busy. Sometimes they can be really, really busy. Okay, Oreo's still hanging out here, so let me just finish with what I was saying with Cinnamon, and then we'll go back to Oreo right quick. Sometimes whenever they come, when they passed over, sometimes like what Oreo's doing right now, hang tight, honey, is they will be closer to us. Sometimes they'll finish business and things, but a lot of times they need to go. I say you tip your cup out, and that is your cup of experiences is overflowing. And so you need to tip that out whenever you're on the other side, because that forms your Akashic record for that life. And so sometimes they're busy on the other side doing exactly that. And then sometimes they'll go ahead and recycle and they'll come right back in, especially if you've got something that you two were working on the other side. Let's see if Oreo has any other messages. Love you. Good to me. Okay, thanks. Bye. I like Oreo. What a hoot. But they are, let me hang on a second. I want to close that door right quick. Because they're busy. That's just it. They are busy. There we go. Okay, cool. Sometimes if the door is left open, then you end up having randoms come through. There we go. Cool. Okay. But yeah, as I was saying too, mostly they did apologize. They didn't want you to experience that. Actually, she was pretty loving. That's something that is quite different whenever we're on the other side too. The love that comes through is very different from the love that we experience down here. And yeah, Rossi's saying we have the Arcturian way of moving between the two timelines. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like this with Rossi. My dogs were very sick. It's way better for them to go to the other side. And yeah, and that's just it. They can absolutely come back as a different pet. So like a dog into a cat, cat into a dog. Sometimes they'll come back even as birds. Like you'll be pursued by wildlife sometimes, and it'll be one of your animal friends. And if you think that you have a message that needs to come from them, what you can do is just sit quietly and then just make your mind into a blank and see if there's any images that come through. They'll speak to you in imagery. Or sometimes you'll get a smell too that will mean something to you. Mm-hmm. And unexpected. Yeah. You're so welcome. Wow, we've been at this for a while. Wonderful. We have accomplished a lot today, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun. Oh, and if you want anybody that is still out there in the Ethernet, I can feel you. If you need, and you don't want to post or anything, you can reach out through, it's in the description box below. DebbieDement.com is my shop. At the top of the page on the right-hand side, there's a contact me form. Just fill that out. And if you need anything, yeah, you're so welcome. Into overtime here. But yeah, if if you've got something that you really don't want to share on the internet, I totally understand. And yeah, you can reach out through me there. I try to contact people back within 24 hours. Sometimes it gets away from me. C'est la vie. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day and rest of the week. And yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I don't have anything on the books right now. So I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Yeah, Carl, if you go to DebbieDement.com, on the upper right-hand side, you'll see a contact me. And if you click on that, there's a form that pops up. Fill that out and it will come to me. Yep, that's how you can reach me. And the energy work that we did today, you can, there is MP3s that I have for sale in the shop that you can get for yourself or your loved ones. And they are cat, dog, horse, human specifics. And yeah, you just play those on a low volume. Okay, gang. Thank you so much. And wawa nui. I will see you next week, hopefully. And if not, have a beautiful, beautiful day and a beautiful, beautiful week. Bye.